Hey guys, David Arona here with Luma AI, and I want to talk about reference mode in Dream Machine today. I want to talk about how you can take an image of a character, load it up into Dream Machine under reference mode, and change up the background of the character, change up different attributes of the character, put them in different places, and just how to use one or multiple image references within Dream Machine to create a whole different scene, to style things differently, but still keeping the essence and the original look and feel of that character alive and consistent throughout all kinds of different scenarios.
Jumping into it here, I actually took a photo of this little collectible that I actually have back here. It's just this little guy. I don't know if you guys have ever seen him before, but he's just a collectible figure. So I took that photo here on my desk, as you can kind of see it. Hopefully you can see that here. And that's just him sort of standing right in front of me. I just took a quick photo with my iPhone, and then I started playing around with it in reference mode. So reference mode, for those of you who don't really access it, right here through your settings panel, just pull that up, and it's going to be the third mode from the left here up across the top. So I just select that. Now, a key point here is that immediately it defaults to photon. So I have to click here and make sure that I am using image v2 as my working model. And again, every time you access reference, again, it like defaults to photon. I don't know if you could see that, but it literally switches back to photon. So you have to actively switch it to image v2, and that's a really, really important first step. So switching it to image v2 and then dropping the image in there. I'm just going to grab it from my desktop and just drop it right in here. And then I just started right away with this image in that reference mode. And what I discovered is that really, really important the way that you phrase this. Okay. So some of the ways that this works best is in your prompt, you want to command the model to do something. So this create an image. This part at the beginning was really important, or make an image, or show me an image. Any one of those different primers I found to be super important in keeping this process consistent and giving me consistent results. I tend to go with, for some reason, just create an image, and then I call out the character in the image. I just say of this character. So because I'm talking about this character, if this was an object, I would talk about it as either an object, or if I would reference the actual object. So I would say if it was a car, I would say this car, if the image was of a car. In this case, the character is kind of complex. I still, he's kind of like he's a bear, but a lot of times he kind of looks like an ape. In any case, it's very stylized, and so I just say this character because it'll pick up on, like, I'm referring to this character kind of in the center of the screen. So again, create an image of this character, and then the action that you wanted to be doing, the settings that you wanted to be in, rather the background that you wanted to be in, etc. And so in this case, create an image of this character surfing in Costa Rica. And so detailed enough, not super detailed. I'm not trying to control everything. I'm just trying to give it just enough detail in a commanding way to get what I want. And great, I'm getting this like consistently. I'm getting 4 up of that character surfing in Costa Rica. I mean, everything is coming out really, really well. It's isolating the character super well, giving me great results here with image v2. Now, my input image is kind of cluttered. As you can see, it's got my desk with like my headphones there, my computer, and all this other stuff in the background that sometimes I feel like is a little confusing to the model. In different, if I want to get call out different settings and different things that maybe are going to conflict with the stuff that I have in the background, I'm always trying to give the model an easier time and sort of prep my assets as much as I possibly can in order to get the best results. So what I went to next was actually, let me prep this character even further. And so I just brought him in as a reference and just said, isolate this character on a white background. And I get a really great result right off the bat. I'm getting that character even blown up a little bit bigger on my screen and isolated on a white background. No distractions, no nothing, just the character. So I don't have to think about kind of any other potential issues that may come up. So this is the way that I prompted it. Isolate this character on a white background. I could also say what I was just talking about, which would be more like create an image of this character isolated on a white background. Either one of these is going to work perfectly fine. And like I said, you can say create or make an image or show me an image, but this can work perfectly fine. However, this verb, this sort of transformative verb also works. I really like starting with a transformative verb. Create, make, add, remove, and that just goes in general for how to prompt Dream Machine. Is like a commanding transformative verb to tell the model what to do immediately. So now I have this new asset here that is a bit cleaner than my previous one. So I'm going to delete that, and I'm actually just going to literally grab it from here. I'm not going to mess with even downloading this and then bringing it back from my desktop. I just click and drag directly into my composer. Look again here, it defaulted to Photon again as I exit it. So I need to click back in there, go back and select image v2. And now I'm going to do something that I really like doing, and I feel like it just helps me tremendously, which is creating a character sheet, like a turnaround sheet of this character, showing multiple camera angles on one. That way the model has even a better understanding, and if it's going to come up with a version that maybe he's turned around, it has a reference within one single image of what this character should look like from the side view, from the back, from the front. So I brought that image in here, as you saw, just dragged it into my composer, make sure that I'm in image v2, and I just say create a character sheet with multiple camera angles on one page. This version of my prompt, it actually took me a minute to get here, because first I started to say create an image of a character sheet. It started kind of getting a little bit confused. So I just realized that by saying a character sheet, because a character sheet is kind of what I wanted to make, it's an image in itself, but I just went straight for it and just said create a character sheet with multiple camera angles on one page. And this actually ended up being really important, this part about on one page. Before, I just tried with multiple camera angles and it wasn't giving me consistent results. It was giving me things that were a little bit confusing. Obviously, I could take photos of this guy all the way around and really get really exact. Like, for example, there's no skull on the backpack here in this version because it hasn't seen it. It doesn't know that there's a skull. And then from there, I can grab this as my asset, for example, where like I will just bring this guy in here and use that as sort of my reference image to give the model like more angles to kind of choose from in a way. But for now, I'm sticking even just with my original one, which was just a single view, the front view, right in the middle of the frame. So in this case, I'm saying create a Dutch angle shot of this character running in a city, and then adding a little more motion blur. And he is running, he's in the city, and there's motion blur. Again, I'm keeping my prompt simple enough without giving too much detail and too much fluff. Just being super direct and starting with that transformative verb of what it is that I want, and then what it is that I want the model to make, a Dutch angle shot, what I'm referencing, which is this character here, what he's doing, running, the setting, a city, and then adding a little bit more for it to pick up on. So just that motion blur sign off there at the end. So now I'm getting like really good results with that character and placing him in a totally different space and completing a totally different action. His arms are involved now, his legs are involved. And then I started kind of experimenting a little bit as well to see different textures. Again, starting off, create an image of this character, but made of transparent glass. Gave me some pretty good versions of this. And then I started doing things like, let me see different camera angles and different ways to view this character. Create an image of this character, hyper close-up of his head. Gave me some really great options here. And then I started taking that and, I think I used this one. I brought this one in as reference. and just said, change the background to a beach in Costa Rica, they start to see how you could start building a little short film with this character, for example. Different angles, different settings. And from here, again, I just kept going, make an image of this character skiing in the Swiss Alps. Another example of how I like to sign off with like a real place. If I want to place him somewhere, I want to see like as realistic as possible. So as opposed to just telling him surfing, I want to say where he's surfing, and I want to say where he's skiing, etc. And then again, just breaking this out a little bit more. Here's him create an image of this character scuba diving in Hawaii and getting really great results off of the first shot, not having to mess around and do this 100 times, really just one shot, because I'm prepping my character asset all here with a Dream Machine. You could do that for sure in Photoshop, or like I said, you could take multiple photos and then stitch that together into one. But why not just use Dream Machine as your single tool to prep your assets? So A, prep your asset. B, make sure you're in Image V2. And then make sure that your prompt has these key elements in there. Like I was saying, create an image, referencing the character here, and then what he's doing and where he's doing it, and being really clear and sticking to a short type of prompt. It should be a visual experience, and it should be something that feels natural. And so just commanding the model and telling it what to do is a really big tip that I can kind of give you. So now I want to move into a multi-reference scenario here where I'm giving it multiple references, not just one reference image. I am much more of a visual person, and so I like to control things with keyframes and with images as much as I possibly can. So in this case, what I did is I uploaded one reference, which is my original, right? The single angle, cleaned up, isolated version of that character. I made this motorcycle actually in Midjourney, also just on a clean background. I could do this in Dream Machine as well, but I'm a Midjourney guy too, so I love making keyframes there. And so I just made that motorcycle reference image, as well as this sort of lonely desert road image. I find that it works best with about 1 to 3 images, but if you prep the images correctly, it still does a great job with more than 3 images. So I urge you to kind of test that out yourselves as well. The asset preparation, in my opinion, is really, really important. Not just getting rid of the clutter around the main subject of image, but also like kind of thinking about images that make sense together so that I could get a result that I kind of expect. So since the road is kind of clear right in the center, I can expect that's where he's going to place the motorcycle, and that's where the bear is going to be clearest also, because he's sort of in the center of the image as well. And so I'm thinking about it logically and giving the model the best chance to perform. And without even a prompt, I'm just seeing what the model will come up with. And if your images are well prepped, and if they have some kind of common thread, or at least they are easily connectable, if you will, like in your mind, they can connect easily, then you may not even need a prompt at all. In fact, the model is definitely smart enough to understand that it needs to blend those three, because we're in reference mode. And so I'm getting great results here, even better results when I do add prompt. But when I did add a prompt, I also did the same kind of strategy, a transformative burp. Combine. What am I combining? All the images to do what? To make what? The character driving the motorcycle in the desert. So I'm like really calling out each asset, making it clear and easy for the model to understand what I'm trying to do. Not going overboard with details, but just giving enough so that it understands what it is that I want. I ended up really liking this shot here on the bottom left, although I really also love this rear shot as well. And again, I can then just take this and start running with it, start making videos. So a great way to use multiple references, a great way to use a character to keep it consistent, to put it in different settings,
Okay, I'm gonna stop here for now, but don't go too far because I am gonna follow up on this tutorial with sort of a part 2 of our references mode. I wanna show you guys a slightly different approach and using different assets as well to kind of look at this from a different perspective. So stay tuned and we'll be back with a part 2 to this tutorial very soon. See you guys later.